Hi, welcome back to Rolling with Riggs. I'm Cody Riggs down here in Tucson, Arizona at Sonoran Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I got Tyler with me today as my uke. Today we're going to be doing some arm locks off of knee on belly. So we're going to be using that transition, their reaction, to lead us to the submission. All right. So we're starting off here in side control. We have our crossface. We have our underhook on the opposite side. I need to get to knee on belly first. A lot of people, whenever they're trying to transition, they go over the center line and they lean over. You do that, you run the risk of being reversed. So I don't lean to the side. I lean more of like a 45, like I'm going towards their head or their shoulder. That makes my leg by his hip light. Okay, that gives me some space for my leg to come up. So I'm going to lean like I'm trying to put my head on the mat next to Tyler's. I'm going to bring my knee up onto his hip, okay? Now really quick, I'm going to come up just so you guys can see. I'm not dragging all the way across. I'm not trying to bring my leg up and drop the whole thing on Tyler. I'm just trying to get my knee on his hip so I can create a post here, okay? Once I have that knee on the hip, boom, I'm actually going to just put my hands on the mat and pop up to my knee on belly. Notice whenever I go to my knee on belly, my opposite leg straightens out for a post. It doesn't stay bent. One, Tyler can underhook my leg here. He can start working his sweeps. And then two, it's not as strong as the post here, okay? Whenever we get knee on belly, I'm just being really nice to Tyler. That's why my toes are on the mat right now. But whenever we do this, we want either our knee on their opposite hip with our toes off of the mat, or we're going to put our knee in the diaphragm to really drain their energy. Okay? I like to go a little bit halfway so it gives me the option here. All right? From here, though, Tyler doesn't want to stay here. So he's going to put his hand on my knee and see how it gives me this nice hook here for my arm to go through. My hand is going to go right through the hole, giving me an underhook. Through here, I'm going to hook and bring his arm to me. So now his arm is on my chest, okay? That way I'm taking away the space. From here, my free hand posts behind the head. So even if Tyler wants to bring his head back to get away from me, he can't, okay? From here, I'm gonna take my post leg and I'm gonna start walking around Tyler's head. I'm gonna step right behind his shoulders here. Notice how my knee isn't on the mat. I'm on both of my feet still, but I still have my weight down on Tyler, okay? I'm gonna spin and face Tyler, so now we're perpendicular instead of parallel. From here, I like to take my knee that's already under his armpit and keep it there, placing my shin on his ribs. My other leg is just going to come across the face like we normally do for an arm bar and hook the head, okay? From here, I sit down. I don't sit back, I sit down, all right? I'm going to pinch my knees together to control as I go for my monkey grip. Whenever I come for my monkey grip, I'm going to pull his hand so his palm is facing away from me. That way, just in case it was in a dangerous situation, Tyler can't scratch me or anything like that. His fingers are facing away from me. I'm going to keep this nice and tight to my chest as I start to lean back. Whenever I lean back, I pull my heels to my butt, keep my knees pinched, and lean back for my arm bar. Boom. So once again, I'm in my side control here. I'm going to lean towards Tyler's head like I'm trying to put my head next to his head to make my bottom leg light. From there, I'm going to bring my knee into his hip just to get on his hip just for my post. My hands are going to come to the mat as I pop up to knee on belly. As I pop up, my post goes out and my leg slides across Tyler's stomach, okay? From here, he doesn't want to stay here, so he goes to get on his side and post on my knee. I'm going to go through the hole to get my underhook. Once my elbow is through, I'm going to pull the arm to my chest, taking away that space. From here, I post behind Tyler's head so he can't bring his head back to get away from me. I'm going to take my post. I'm going to step over Tyler. Notice, once again, I don't have my knee on the mat. I'm just sitting on Tyler. I'm on my feet still. Okay? From here, I'm going to finish the turn, bringing my shin into his armpit. Okay? This time my foot went below his armpit. That's fine. I'm still going to do the same mechanics. I'm going to pinch my knees together. I'm going to pull my heel into me. I'm going to get my monkey grip to pull his hand across. And then I'm going to lean back. So once again, we're here. I lean, get my knee on the hip, post up. He goes to turn. See how Tyler gets on his side here, and you see that hole he gives me. My arm goes through the hole. Once my elbow's through, I hook and bring it to my chest. My other hand posts behind the head, so Tyler can't get away from me. All right. From here, I step over. Something else I didn't mention, whenever I step over, my foot replaces my hand. So I step over, my foot replaces my hand, okay? And then I'm here. Notice, my knee isn't on the mat. My knee is still up, okay? Whenever I go to twist, I don't sit back. I sit down, all right? I'm not going to give any space when I go to turn, all right? So I bring my foot in to turn. Something else I like to do a lot is I'll post. My free hand, it's not doing anything. Let's use it. We're going to post, come through. Now from here, I pinch, pull my heels in, monkey grip, and finish. I know you can see from the video, whenever I finish, my back isn't going all the way to the mat. So let's just talk about some of the braking mechanics of the arm bar, okay? I see a lot of the time, people try to take the arm and they treat it like a slot machine and they just crank down here, hoping to get a tap. See, I'm pulling Tyler's arm all the way down. I'm laying down and everything, but he's not tapping, right? It's uncomfortable, isn't it? Yeah, but it's not tapping. So we need to do more than that. We need to have actual braking mechanics. Okay, so whenever we go to do our arm bar, we need to make sure that we're attacking the levers, which will be the elbow and the wrist. Whenever I go to get my wrist grip, some people like to get a C grip. I get a monkey grip where I just have my finger in, also called a flipper, and I'm just going to cup over top. Boom. That way I can pull this nice and tight to my chest. Now, notice at the same time, whenever I pull Tyler's arm in, I pull it so his palm is facing away from me. We don't have to worry about this in jiu-jitsu really, but in a self-defense scenario, if I have his palm facing me, he could always, scratch me, poke my eye, stuff like that. We don't want that, right? So we have it on the opposite side here, okay? If he tries to do anything like that, he'd have to turn his wrist into me, which I'm not going to let him because I have my monkey grip, all right? From here, a lot of people, you see it in the UFC a lot, the guys will have their legs apart and they're just cranking down on that arm because they usually have a cup on. They use that for leverage. In jiu-jitsu, we don't get to wear a cup, okay? So you don't exactly want to just crank that arm down. What you need to do is you need to squeeze your knees together to make a shelf with your thighs, okay? Boom. That way, we're not hitting ourselves in the groin. From here, at the same time, I'm going to pull my heels to my butt. That keeps Tyler's shoulder in place and keeps it from going away, making it more of an angle for me to get the actual arm lock, okay? I want to keep everything nice and tight. Think I am the breaking point that Tyler's going over, okay? So I'm here, I have my knees pinched nice and tight together. I bring my heels to my butt. I pull Tyler's hand into my chest, and then I slowly go back. Boom. And you can see how early Tyler tapped, okay? When we're looking at it from the side view, so I have my knees pinched, I have my heels coming to my butt, boom. I have the hand on the opposite side, and I have my monkey grip. From here, I start to apply it, boom. I have all of this way to go down where his arm will have more pressure on it. This is where the break happens, okay? Not here, here, okay? Now I know sometimes people think like, coach, his arm slipped, what can I do? We can always bring it back in. You can bring your heels back to you. So we go for our arm bar, we get our hook, post, step, I go to spin, I post, and I sit, okay? So yeah, now Tyler's a little bit farther away from me. What can I do here to bring him back in? Because I don't have the braking mechanics I had before. His arm's almost out. One thing I can do is I'll use my leg to pull him in closer to me, okay? So this leg that's over top of his head, instead of it staying out like this, I see this a lot. I want to bring my heel as close as I can to me. That's going to make it tighter, and that brings Tyler's shoulder back in, okay? Then from here, I can bring the arm across, pinch, and once again, I have all of this room for the braking mechanics, okay? Another question I get is, about the thumb, making sure the thumb is in the right spot. Whenever we get our monkey grip, we're not just, placing our open hand on top and going down. I'm still curling with my hand, okay? I'm still pinching with my fingers. So whenever I get my monkey grip and I have his hand, I'm not just pulling it to me with like an open palm. I'm pinching it still to keep his wrist from turning. So whenever I go to pull back, even if Tyler's trying to turn his hand up, I am keeping it in place. Once again, look at all that room for the braking mechanics. All right, thank you for watching today. I hope you learned something from this. This is one of my favorite things to do. I've been hitting this since I first started doing jiu-jitsu for MMA at 16. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'm more than happy to answer them. If there's anything you'd like to see, anything added on, or maybe a new technique, comment down below as well. If you haven't liked, please like and subscribe below. That way we can get that number up. I'd really appreciate it. And then just have a great week.